These poor employees have no idea what they're signing up for.
I've never actually done this before. Like, try to kill all my workers. I'm really curious if this will work.
I feel like such an awful person.
Well,
you
I think
can
it
see how
only
the death pops up on the right-hand side. An employee has died. Oh man.
You're doing it at 3x2, so they die like 3 times faster.
Well, hello! How's it going? Welcome back to another BYG stream. We're playing Into the Titan today. I'm Maddie. I'm the community manager here at Brace Yourself Games. Mic is off. Mic is good. Mic is good now. Okay, I don't know where you guys picked in, but I'm Maddie. I'm the community manager here at Brace Yourself Games. I am joined by Andy, who's our lead designer for Into the Titan.
Hello.
And Mel, who's our assistant video producer here at BYG2. So all the cool Titan trailers are done by her. So yeah, welcome. How's everyone going? Who's in chat today? We got Lucky Luke, Traco, Ilaria, hello. Praetorian, System Chalk, hello. Welcome everybody. So I originally had wanted to show you guys our new timed contract mode, but unfortunately we're not playing on a live Epic build, so I can't log in and connect to the server. So no timed contract today, unfortunately. You'll just have to try it out tomorrow. So we're just gonna do a normal standard mode today. And I think there's a couple things that we want to talk about. There's like some really cool questions in our AMA channel on Discord, and I think we'll address those today. But otherwise, we're just here to have some fun. What should we call our corporation today? Howdy, y'all.
That sounds like a perfect name.
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy, y'all, co.
Howdy, y'all, co. Is there like a cowboy hat looking? This one's kinda has a hat on it, sort of.
Yeah, perfect.
I'll enable to. I'm not gonna enable. Punch. Oh, I still have the music. This one looks like a cat. Oh, Howdy Y'all LLC would have been a good one. Next time. Not today, sorry. What were you gonna say, Mel? Sorry.
Sorry.
Not today.
What is all the stuff for the time contract thing? Because I know I had kind of heard about it, but I wasn't sure what all the specifics were.
So I think Andy can go into more details, but the TLDR is you get basically a shortened amount of time, or a specific amount of time to get as many points as possible in your city corporation. So timed contract. And the higher points you get, the better you do. And so there's a leaderboard, which will be really cool. Andy, do you want to go into more details about it?
Yeah, sure. The main purpose for the time contract mode is to have a format that can be played competitively, and that's why we have leaderboards for them. And in order to balance like the playing field for the time contract mode, what we've done is it requires you to play on. There's only one difficulty option, which is standard, and also one map location, which is for now just the standard land grant location. And every day there's like a rolling 24-hour period for the leaderboards, and for like those who participate in the time contract mode to set a leaderboard score, and then every 24 hours it changes to a new leaderboard. So the idea is to see if you can get the highest score if on a daily basis. This is just the initial implementation of this mode, and I'll go into what our goals are for this daily challenge style mode in the future. Yep, Trico, it's a daily challenge
Yeah.
style competitive mode.
Exactly.
Our current setting for it right now is 7 Titan days, so that's I think it's like 56 minutes at 3x. If I do the math. So it's 168 hours, and if you play at 3x the entire time, then it's 56 minutes. But if you fluctuate between, if you only play at 1x the whole time, then it's 168 minutes, like 2.8 hours.
Hi, Patrick. Perfect.
You said. So the way score works is I've kind of for those who have gotten to the end of the game, and this is actually a new feature for this Titan Tuesday as well. Is I think for those of you who've gotten to the end of the game, we've kind of given you this very small summary of what we call net worth, and the game kind of evaluates all of your buildings and all of your assets, so like credits, resources, devices, buildings, ships, workers, population, and then deducts any liabilities against it, which would be like how much waste you're storing, and pollution as well. And that kind of aggregates out to a value that we just call net worth, and then that will be your score that's posted to the leaderboard. Net worth is also the metric that the game uses to evaluate whether or not, or how aggressive rebels should be when they attack you as well. So this metric like will constantly change over time as we add more features to the game. So right now, citizens don't have any happiness or sadness towards your performance as a city corp leader or founder. And in the future, those metrics will be factored in as well, and affect your score and whatnot. So this is kind of why the daily format works out for us. Is like, in the next update, there will be changes that change how you can get a high score. All the older leaderboards will no longer be valid, but you can still view them. On the leaderboard screen, you can like navigate the day of the leaderboard, see the old scores, but then the new scores will be slightly different. So this, as I was saying earlier, uses sort of the standard map mode and the standard difficulty for now. And the long-term goal for the daily challenge is to add more replayability and variation, so that every day feels different. So variety and variation can come in the form of map generation. So some days we'll use a different location than others, or the map will be could be modified uniquely based on the daily challenge. And we also have planned to have game modifications. So there's many different variables in the game, like how much health your citizens have, how much starting resources you have, how long it takes to build stuff, etc. And we are planning on adding to the daily challenge mode or the time contract mode, such that every single day has these different variations to them that change exactly how you go into it, so that you can't kind of just optimize for a single strategy, but every day will be like a new way that you approach trying to get a high score, based off of the current variables. And we have some wacky ones planned, like when ships explode, they do massive damage, so collateral damage is like something that you need to really take into consideration. We could even experiment with things like, right now, fuel tank buildings explode because the fuel is volatile. So we could apply that attribute to every building. So any building that explodes will explode in AoE, which means that how you lay out your city will completely change because everything is volatile. Stuff like that. That our projected timeline for those improvements is a bit up in the air right now because, like so many other features on Titan, there's just still a lot to do and a lot to touch. For example, one of the most newest features that we've added, population simulation and the factory gameplay, actually represent only a portion of what our team's goals and vision are for that entire system. Some of you have commented in the past that like they feel like the factory gameplay has kind of a single strategy, and I've observed this when I watch players play and they build similar layouts every time. That we are fully aware of that, and that will be addressed in the next factory update. So it'll become much more. Your strategies will change on how you lay out your factories depending on the game, how your game plays out, and then population simulation. Population simulation also lacking a lot of complexity in terms of like the citizens' happiness, a lot of the nightlife, which is very, very critical to the cyberpunk genre, sort of is not existent to the degree that we wanted to, with like streets being filled with people and whatnot. So there's still a lot to do, and I think just going forward, we're going to kind of be rotating through these different features over time.
I mean, I have to use my brain now. Oh no.
Yeah. Yep. And we do have some quality of life things planned where like for those who do like to do similar layouts every time. One of the things that I've been talking about for a while with the team is the idea of being able to save a configuration and then reapply that configuration to future things. Even hopefully between multiple save sessions, and so you're not sort of manually placing the same things every time. Like, I know some people have their favorite power layouts, and the feature that's all kind of dependent on in order to execute is another feature that we've been talking about for a while, which is blueprint mode. So one of the things that Titan currently enforced is right now is in order to place a build order for an object. Oh, a second. In order to place the build order for an object, you have to have the required resources for it. And this was an active decision because most other city simulation strategy games kind of allow you to infinitely queue orders. And I felt like that approach is good for people who are like very planning oriented, but it's very difficult to be planning oriented without kind of like full mastery of the systems, and I felt like that makes those games rather difficult to get into in the very beginning. There's like a lot of upfront learning cost in order to play the game well. And so instead we opted for a build system that's more similar to real-time strategy games like StarCraft and Command & Conquer, where like it deducts the resources that you need to build an object, and that allows you to kind of like think about just the short-term consequences of building. But there are people who have now mastered the systems and fully desire the ability to plan out their entire city from the get-go. So I do hope that at some point in the future, we will add blueprint mode, which will kind of allow you to place the holograms of objects that you want to build without actually executing a build order on them. Oh yeah, it's without executing a build order for them, and at some point you can click those holograms and hit construct. And so if all you're doing is placing holograms, then that means you can copy and paste sort of the layouts for the hologram layouts for things. And so for future games, if there's like a ship hull or a factory that you want to do on multiple floors, you could just like load it and then build it at a later point.
Is Andy louder for people? That good?
Yeah, I took a break to drink water like 5 seconds because I was talking for a while.
Yeah. So, we also got some interesting questions in our Titan AMA channel. Do you want to take some time to answer those now, or should we do that later?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So,
Let me. Oh.
I can read them out, but you can also pull them up
Oh.
because some of them are long.
Oh,
if you
okay.
want.
Go ahead.
So
Yeah.
these are from Exidian. And their questions are: what were some of the unique challenges in developing this game? Pulling together a compelling game loop, figuring out how to execute on one mechanic you knew had to be in the game, or some other technically challenging thing that seemed simple in concept to implement, but which became a monster later on.
Okay. Those are all very good questions. This is from Obsidian.
Axidion.
Well, Obsidian.
Axidion.
Okay. Let me.
Gotta scroll up a little bit on the Discord for it.
Yeah. It's not April 15th, right? It's before then.
Oh, it is the April 19th.
19th. Okay. Yeah, because those are the sub questions are all they're all very long conversation points. So I kind of wanted to go into them because I think they're kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so unique challenges of developing this game is that there are the game takes, I would say, influences from a few different genres which are very well established in their own independent like ecosystems. So the city building genre has existed for a while, and in the last several years we've seen a growth in this kind of like worker management simulation style. So games like RimWorld, Dwarf Fortress, um, you know, Prison Architect, and those games they differ from city management and city building games in like the initial city builder games like SimCity were kind of like the simulations were very like approximated, and oops, I closed up my the simulations were very like approximated, so you would kind of have buildings that represented like several hundred or several thousand people, and like it would kind of create an estimated simulation based off of that. And as a result of that, SimCity was a lot enabled you to kind of build these massive cities that kind of functioned for the technology at the time. And when SimCity tried to explore the idea of like more deeper, more simulated simulations, they're like objects flowing from one tile to another and like simulating the traffic and actual individual actors, like the individual people. They ran into a lot of design problems, and that's why like that one EA SimCity that came out more recently didn't kind of live up to the expectations of the original game. Meanwhile, games like Oxygen Not Included and RimWorld, they have these really deep simulations that kind of track the individual interactions of like the interactions of like a single individual on multiple fronts. So like their their position in the world and like what they're next to and their mood and their personality traits, and they're evaluating all these things. And those games limiting their simulation to like several, like maybe 8 to 12 different individuals really enables them to kind of go deeper on that simulation. But it wouldn't work on a city scale of like 1,000 or 2,000, however big of city that you want it to be. So trying to take aspects of those two genres and merge them together has been incredibly challenging for us, and they exist. You can kind of see where their influences exist in Titan, in that you have a population system in the game where you can kind of like get up to the hundreds of people now, and in theory the engine will support you supporting up to thousands or 10,000s of citizens. And those citizens are simulated on like, sort of like a building layer. So each of the buildings and offices kind of approximates the day and night cycle of these individuals. Meanwhile, the workers themselves are simulated more fully on a positional basis and like a job basis. They currently don't have sort of like the behavioral systems, like the personality traits and other things that like RimWorld and Oxygen Not Included have. But at least on that front, what you have here is you have kind of like an active worker system, and then you also have like a passive citizen system. So creating the game to be compelling on those two fronts has been quite challenging because like, right now we don't even have enough systems in the game on the citizen level to make the city building management aspect of it stand on its own, outright on its own. In order for that to happen, I think we definitely need the citizen happiness metrics and the city evaluation metrics to know that you as a person running a city corp, if you're performing your job correctly. I think we have more systems in line with the active worker system where you are managing their current jobs and tasks and balancing what they should be doing and queuing up orders for the next thing and so forth. And so then there's the third influence in the game, which is FTL-based tactical combat. And this one has been incredibly challenging to make integral to the game too, because I think for a lot of players, the overlap between RimWorld style simulations and SimCity style simulations, on that Venn diagram, there's a very large overlap, and so there are fans who can of both of those games who can kind of like picture the hybrid between those two. But with the tactical combat, it kind of exists in this second realm where the game doesn't introduce it until many hours into the game, and the way your mindset when engaging in that combat is a very different mindset than when you are planning sort of the other phases of the game. And I think from a design perspective, one of the most important goals that we want to do is make it so there's sort of equilibrium between all those three phases. And I think one of the systems that we're missing to really enable that is that when you currently combat only exists sort of like analogously to SimCity in the sense that as in the form of like how SimCity has like a fire or tornadoes. They kind of exist as this thing that like prevents an opposing force to your progress. And when I was younger, I used to actually play with SimCity with fires and tornadoes off, and that's why we kind of have a Zen mode for people who like that. But what I think will happen in the future is as the rebel AI gets fleshed out more, we have a programmer on the team who will be dedicating themselves to rebel AI and other AI factions as well. His name is Oliver. That will change how sort of your interactions with other entities on the map will work, and then also because they will behave in a way that is more than just occasionally bothering you, but also the risks and rewards of interacting with those other factions and rebels as well need to also be more interesting, including something that I had mentioned in a previous stream, which is right now it's sort of like it's a lot simpler to just blow rebels out of the sky and not have to worry about them. But in the future, to incentivize and reward tactical combat, what one of the things we're thinking about allowing players to do is to like derelict an enemy ship by killing off their workers. So you could shoot all the workers individually to kill them, or you can kill their life support systems and they'll all suffocate out. But then you have to disable their engine, and so once you disable their engine and they have no more workers, then they can't repair the engine and the ship is completely derelict. And at that point, we want to give you the option to drag or tow those ships back to your shipyard to salvage them for additional resources. So blowing rebels out of the sky is kind of like a wasted of opportunity for people who need resources. And then when we introduce rival corporations, there will also be sort of like economic incentives and diplomatic incentives to engage in combat and whatnot. Okay, so that was that first part. Let me see what.
So, the next question was, how common is the need to refactor your code because you need to introduce a new variable or a way to make calls? Or does that not really happen anymore because of node-based tools?
It happens all the time. So the for long-time followers of early access will have noticed that what we've been doing in the last 6 months or several months is kind of swinging back and forth between aggressive feature pushes to updates that are focusing more on stability. And we're actually due for another one of these polls after this Titan Tuesday. We regularly poll the Discord for whether or not the fan base, you all, want to see more features in the game or more emphasis on stability and polish, because there's a balance there just from it's just a software engineering. It's something that just exists in all software engineering, which is the more we add to this monster, project, the more risk that we add, the more risk that we have that something's going to break. And by design, we're trying to add systems that interact with as many other systems as possible because we think that's what makes the game that's what makes a compelling game. But because new systems will touch everything that's old has the potential to break, and so things that have been working for many months will no longer work, and that can be frustrating. And it's sort of like a exponential problem because as the project grows, there's going to be just more things that the system that can be broken by adding new stuff. So what we're to enable us to have solid forward momentum, what we're planning on doing on this month and the next month, as well as what we've been doing for the last couple months, is integrating refactoring into our workflow. So this month, this Titan Tuesday, it may not be in the patch notes, but one of the most important things that we did was we refactored portions of the combat code. So there may be some players who have noticed in the last couple months or several months that when you're in combat, sometimes worker behaviors don't listen to the job tree, or workers can enter states in which they no longer do things like repair, even though there's something to repair right in front of them, or they're not operating a device, even though there's devices that need to be operated. There was a very significant review of that code, and so I'm hoping that a lot of those are now addressed. A lot of those issues have been addressed, and we're going to continue to look at combat. Another one that we had looked at this month too is how combat operates on the external view. So like in our development, we call interior view and exterior view the two types of ways of like viewing the game. And the interior view was updated. It was reviewed and updated, and we had discovered some significant issues with it. So that should be improved as well. But we also partially reviewed the exterior code, and so some things like I actually have a clip of it from System Chalk's stream. So like System Chalk's, monthly Titan Tuesday stream, I usually watch it and like clip any bugs that he finds. And he had like in a particular engagement bug that we shared with the dev team. And so that particular issue should be fixed. It's like sometimes you're like in combat with two ships at once and you can't break the combat out of one of them to engage with the other. I believe some instances of that are fixed. I don't want to say all of those instances are fixed because you never know if there's like some edge case where it might still be broken. But we reviewed sort of like those engagement collision things, and I think that's improved. Wait, oh yeah, I lost track of the original question. So refactoring. So in the next month, we're planning on continuing to review that code with the combat, as well as pathfinding code as well. So we're hoping that there are going to be improvements to the optimized pathfinding, which is like pathfinding is a very expensive CPU function. so hopefully we'll find some improvements on performance there, but also there's a particular issue with it's one of these things where we like suspect that some workers are losing their job assignments using elevators, and we think that refactoring this code will improve that. So it's all kind of like an ongoing process in terms of refactoring. And I don't think it'll be possible to get to a point where we never have to refactor, because like the scope of our game is so massive. Even from like where it is now, versus like where we thought it was going to be a year ago, and we continue to kind of grow it because we have a lot of very passionate fans of the game who really want to see the project reach like its full fruition. And also like having worked on the game, there's a lot of opportunity there to like explore new types of gaming experiences and stuff within Titan, and I think it'd be a shame to not do our best to kind of reach that. Okay. Yep. Okay, so that
at catching up.
Oh, yeah.
Phillipson says, will it be possible in IoT to have a population of over 1 million? Will there be different types of residential building that will home way more citizens?
Okay, so from a tech perspective, it is possible to have populations over 1 million and the game won't explode. And that is because when we implemented the population simulation, we knew that we didn't want to we didn't want to like prevent us from reaching that particular cyberpunk vision of like that Blade Runner vision of these massively populated cities. We're currently not there yet in terms of gameplay, but we should technically be able to obtain it. The thing that's kind of getting in the way of it now is that the rate of growth is kind of incremental. So you get ships from like anywhere between 1 or 2 citizens all the way up to like 64, and I think I've seen like 64 or 96 or something like that very, very rarely. But those aren't the kind of migration numbers that a city would need or a player needs in order to get to the simulations of over 1 million. And so to address that, and I don't have a timeline for this, but but this is something that I do think that the game needs is the idea is that Titan as a planet, or sorry, like Titan as a place to live is advertising itself to other colonies in the solar system as like this new frontier of opportunity. And these are like miles and miles away, like forever away. I don't know the exact metric, but it's like, and when those advertisements reach there, citizens on Earth and Mars and the other colonies decide to take a risk and chase their dreams in pursuit and go to Titan. They like pack everything up and they go to Titan. So when how effective Titan is at appealing to other colonies in terms of being an attractive place to live and chase your opportunities is dependent on how well you perform as a city. So like if your cities are just completely polluted and full of waste, the sort of, and I don't have like the official term for this, but like sort of like the people's evaluation of your your reputation as a city corp will be incredibly low. And so your bad reputation will spread across the solar system, and people will be the wiser as to whether or not they want to come to your place. If you start implementing some of the buildings that we have planned for the future, like the nightclub or the park or other places that kind of increase the attractiveness of your city, then more citizens from outside of Titan will hear word of this and want to come visit as well. And that will affect the migration rates that you have. So like instead of just 2 to 32 people coming every now and then, it might be 100 to 300, and then eventually you're going to reach like thousands and thousands. And to plan for this, we have the intention was that the migration ships themselves have like occupancy rates. Right now, we kind of use all of the ships to generally cover like this 2 to 64 capacity. But a lot of those ships were designed, especially the larger ones, they were designed with sort of this cruiser carrier size in mind, this like space colony size in mind. So getting an import of 1,000 or 10,000 people would work. Now the other half of your question about the buildings is very is a very good question as well, because the highest level citizen building that we have right now is a level 3 connected citizen building, and that only has a certain capacity to it. I think it's like 196 or something like that. So you would need tons of those in order to house everybody. When we get to the point where we're able to get our cities larger, that's when we'll evaluate what the next step of progression is for those buildings. And one to just give you an idea of why we haven't gone down that road of development yet, is one of the directions or the way we've prioritized buildings currently is that each building type represents a specific gameplay system or a specific gameplay goal. So like the smokestack is specifically for pollution and getting rid of waste. The citizen building is specifically for storing citizens. The office is specifically there to monetize them, and so forth and so forth. And we have a very high density of like building sort of like the building's theme versus the number of buildings. Whereas there's other city builders where they kind of like have a very large building list, but they go like apartments and condos and high rises and like housing and stuff like that, and they're more or less like the same building functionally. They just have like different variables on them. We haven't gone that route because we want to maintain the feature density of the buildings, and we still have many more to go through first, like clubs, parks, hospitals for the healthcare system, stores, because there's the idea is you can manufacture consumer products and sell it to your citizens, and so forth and so forth. So I think before thinking about how to kind of grow what we currently have in terms of scale, we need keep in mind that we're still growing what we have in terms of like variety.
How angry are the rebels gonna be if I upgrade my headquarters to level 3 already?
They shouldn't be, and I'm glad you brought that up, because there are probably some people who totally get why you're asking that question. So just full transparency, there was a bug for a very long time where upgrading really pissed off the rebels for whatever reason.
They got so mad. They would attack like right away for me.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be like this. There's an algorithm in the background that calculates like all the aspects of your game, of your performance, and like for some reason, I think the way the bug worked was like when you issued the upgrade, it counted as one upgrade, and then when it completed, it counted as the second one. So it was like doubling or tripling the value of an upgrade. So an upgraded, not only that, is the headquarters is the most expensive building, which you can't build other ones of them yet, and I'll get to that in a second. So imagine it's the most expensive building, and then when you upgrade it, it's like you're building 3 or 4 of them. That really pissed off the rebels, and I think, I think that's fixed. I do like Patchy Perfect's take on this though, that the rebels want you to preserve the skyline and just really don't like tall buildings.
Yeah. Look at this. On both sides, it's not right next to the things. That bugs me so much. Alright, we're gonna build a command center. Get that node anyway. I should also build a shipyard once I can get my power under control, because we can now explore the fog of war. No, stop it. Not supposed to. Don't drink.
On the headquarters, I do want to just bring this up because this is something that I do think we will do sooner rather than later. Is that right now when you lose your headquarters, the game's over, and it's kind of a lot of it's like a lot of pressure to keep that one building alive, and so the goal is to allow you to build other headquarter buildings, which will act as like lives, so to speak. You can have up to 3 at any given time, and if you lose one, you can build more up to 3, and that will allow you to have 3 buildings to make sure that your game doesn't just game over when you lose. Yeah, and I think I briefly mentioned this, but I just want to say it again. There's a new game over screen, courtesy of our new developers on the project, Streamline. So they when you get to the game over screen, or for those of you who do get to the game over screen, you'll notice there's a new window up, and it'll break down your score better and more clearly, and especially for the leaderboard mode. That's the score that's submitted to the leaderboards.
I think they get it. That's it. Okay.
Chat questions.
More questions. Phillips has another question. Will you be able to name your city, or is the name of the city the same as the corp?
It's the same as the corp.
Yeah. You're a city corporation. So you're one and the same.
Your corporation is a city, or your city is a corporation, however you want to view it. That's the future. So you can live in Apple or Google in the future.
You can live in Apple or Google. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I have way too much. Dang, I have 2 more floors. I'm draining my fuel. I'm so bad at balancing it. Yeah, there goes my... The thing is, like, I know it's gonna go badly and I still do it anyway. I'd like to... I guess I could just... No. Big Apple. I thought Traco was asking more questions, but just advertising for Titan. Are you bored with your life? Pesky internal organs giving you trouble? The Titan. Okay. So, more questions. Before going into the development of the game, do you know if your team has the full set of skills needed to build it, or do you spitball awesome ideas until you have something regardless of experience or skill?
That's an interesting question. So... Okay, I need to read this.
Yeah.
I want to read it. Is this who gave this question?
This is still Oxidian. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Is that later? Oh yeah, here it goes. Oh, okay. So, no, we do not necessarily. Okay, wait. Let me. So, when like the team has been working together on the project for like a couple years now, or several. It depends on the team member, because some are newer than others. But the longer that we work with an individual, we get a better sense for what their strengths and capabilities are. And so that factors into prioritization. So if we were to, let's say, like, oh, so and so is really great at programming this type of feature, that means what we could do is have a Titan Tuesday revolving around that person's work. But that method isn't necessarily what dictates the types of features that we choose, just kind of like who does it and the priorities of it. We when it comes to sort of like the overall idea of the game, or like the goals of the game, that's kind of done from just like an ideation period. And so we all contribute to, or we do our best to kind of like come up with the things that Titan needs, and then at that point we evaluate whether or not they're possible. And even even when doing our best about trying to implement something that we know we're capable of doing, just the challenges of game development, we're always stumbling upon something that we did not foresee. And so when that happens, the options are like make concessions based on what isn't possible with our development team, or put in the time to obtain the skills to do it, or seek additional support. Brace Yourself Games has multiple development studio teams, and there are strengths across all of them in various ways. And so in the past, we've had Phantom Brigade help us with things like VFX, and then in more recently, our programmer Oliver, who's going to be specializing in the AI, the Rebel AI got an update this Titan Tuesday as well. And also Oliver will be helping us with Rival Faction AI. Oliver was the programming lead for Cadence of Hyrule and Crypt of the Necrodancer. And so those were sort of features that could have been done by other people, but Oliver expressed a unique interest in doing it, and like that sort of curiosity is driving him to create want to make a deeper, more robust system for the AI than what we had originally scoped, which is great. So it's like that's an example of like, oh, we try to scope the game for what we're capable of pulling off given our team size, but then our team size changed, and so therefore we can increase the scope and the vision for what we want out of it. And one of our most recent additions to the team is another team called Streamline, and they're adding 7 to 8. It's kind of variable, like several new members to Titan, which will be helping on multiple fronts. So the leaderboards and the leaderboards and the achievements that were recently added is their work. They're also responsible for the Map Generation 2.0 update, and will continue to add updates to Map Generation forward. So all of this additional support is helping us like just change how much better we can. Just read this question again from Exidian.
I think my workers keep immediately upgrading my tier 1, so I wasn't getting able to build the fuel turbine. Weird.
Are you using auto?
Yeah, I think I should be able to do it now, but yeah, I just need It worked out because now I can just build it immediately next to the sinkhole.
There's a for veteran users, there's a couple new touches to the UI that we're hoping improves the usability. So at the top, if you click the resources, you can now cycle through the various states of the game, from like tier 1, 2, 3, and then back to auto, and the game will also tell you what state you're in, and then it's reflected at the bottom as well with your autocurrency system.
Oh, I'd have no fuel. I know how not fuel. Waste.
And if you're in city mode and you mouse over a building, if you're in manual mode, it'll tell you the resources that you're using in manual mode, and that's because we still get on a somewhat regular basis some users saying that the prices for buildings are too high, and if you were to upgrade your resources to full, the prices of buildings are 1/4 of the price that they were before the most recent update. So the buildings are actually cheap 4 times cheaper than they ever have been, but we get complaints that the prices of buildings are too expensive, and it's mostly because they haven't processed the resources. And there's 2 things that we think are contributing to this. One is we think that the tutorial first and foremost needs to get completed, and that's going to be it for this Titan Tuesday. But second is there's the device list has the processors on the bottom of the list, and the ability to scroll the device list isn't very visible. So we're going to be doing a visual improvement to do that, to change that.
Okay. Stabilize my fuel, and I get a little bit more energy, and then we can build the shipyards.
Oh, I should also note some other minor changes. If you're playing on a time contract mode, you're forced to be in hardcore mode. This is to prevent abusing saves to try to get a higher score. And then if you're in hardcore mode, tutorial is disabled, and in the future your advisors will be disabled as well. This is because you're hardcore, and so you won't have access to those resources.
Probably need. Hurt. Okay, they're slowly building it. So, next question. Have you ever had to let cool ideas go because of these theoretical skill time or financial?
Yes, all the time. I think every single video game says yes to number 3. And what happens when you don't say yes to number 3 is you get in a situation where the expectations for the game are significantly higher than what's being delivered, and like that results in a lot of unhappy gamers when they're like, I got this game because I thought it was going to have all of this stuff that was like I had never seen before, these like super ambitious goals, and like at the end of the day it was like something much more common. I think like every developer pushes the limits of what they can pull off in their game, and so a lot of what you see today, even if you play a lot of games and you're like asking yourself, oh, why do I see the same types of games all the time, like that's kind of the limit for a lot of developers as to what can be done, and that stuff's not easy to do. It's not easy to pull off like that stuff at all. So if anything was possible, then like Titan would be something crazier, because we've had discussions that just basically you can tell that it would be impossible to pull that kind of stuff, that kind of design off. But what we try to do is we never completely kill an idea, is we just put it off for later and hope that maybe there'll be a time when like we come up with a more practical solution to achieve the same thing.
Oh, guys, the fuel turbines are up.
Nice.
Okay. Sorry, I interrupted you going.
Yeah, so I think like we're really fortunate here in that we have the opportunity to take this genre into unique places. So, and we always want to continue to keep doing that. And I think like as long as the game has legs and people really want to see the game grow, we can continue to keep seeing how far Titan, or like what Titan can become. So I'm excited to continue to kind of see that through. But you know, it's still kind of tricky because we are kind of like high goal oriented, and we've been able to pull off so much of this really cool stuff. I think a lot of gamers overestimate how much kind of like budget and staff and that we actually do have. We're still like a smaller studio compared to a lot of these like bigger budget company. We have like 12-ish full-time on the project now, and then a support staff of like 6 to 8 part-time on it as well. And if you consider you know, Frostpunk is like somewhere between 30 and 50 people, we're still we're trying to be as kind of lean as possible, and that is by design. We structure our development like that by design, because when we're smaller, we have to make these compromises and be creative in our solutions rather than trying to brute force brute force ideas through with money and worker power.
The System Chalk says, does the writing team get a compensatory mode? Compensatory? Can you pronounce that? Mode where the game randomly destroys a building if someone skips text or dialogue.
That's really funny.
No, but we should. Someone write that down.
One of the wacky things that I had thought about was like, for people who click and don't let the person finish speaking, I wanted the game to like take account of how often that's happening, and if it breaks a certain threshold, then they actually change what they're saying to like, can you just let me finish already? Like, you're not even letting me speak or whatever. So I do think that stuff's kind of funny. But it's fun. It like, if we're just like talking about like wacky ideas, there was a time when I thought it would be funny when if you hit call advisor, rather than seeing like the people's faces that you want to contact and like and then just hitting a button, it would actually just be like a numpad, and then you would have a like a Rolodex. Like, you'd have like a call index that would basically say like, if you want to call your power advisor, it's like this number sequence, and you had to like punch that in and hit call. It's like super dumb, but I just thought it would be really funny because you had to like literally call them. and I felt like it would feel more like a helpline.
That's exactly what the council wants to be, a helpline.
Yeah. If you want to talk to Anar, press 2. And then you need to push 2. It's like
Awesome. So I could do this, but I always find that the waste kind of overflows anyways, so I don't know if it's worth connecting to. I'm just gonna do it. Why not? Save space. Alright, isotope. Why? Oh, right, because it doesn't. Yeah. Gotcha.
So whenever I build my processors, they look a lot like yours. And whenever I watch System Chalk build processors, they're these like perfect rectangles from like the left side to the right side of the factory, and he fits like every single piece in there.
Yeah, I'm always so impressed. I love having just like symmetricity, and I can't ever achieve it because I don't have enough brain power at all hours of the or just period. That's why ships are really hard for me to build too, because I want them to be symmetrical, and I just can't make them symmetrical. You guys will see. You guys will see when I build my ships. Why are you not? Oh, because I have no isotope. Come on, man.
They're a behavior that I've observed very commonly with the processors is players will take the output tile and then link it adjacent to the input tile of the next processor, with the assumption that it like the two modules will like sync themselves and cut out the delivery person.
It'd be really cool.
Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. The game does not do that. You know, I love that the players are showing us how to make the game better. So what we're gonna do is, in the future, enable players to do that. It's just right now it like does not do that because we have kind of like this universal job system where, you know, a job is created and it's assigned to a worker, and they kind of like just do the job. And right now, at the end of the module phase, at the end of the processing phase, a job is created to pick up the resource. And then whenever there's an input module, a job is created to deposit the resource. And so it's like no easy task to make that specific system skip the job system and then create this like custom delivery system just for that. But if we're already going to go down the route of linking output to input, we might as well complete sort of what I think the player expectation is, which is to be able to create conveyor belts so you can link, you know, any of these inputs to outputs across any configuration. There's no timeline on that yet because it's not easy. If it was easy, you would have gotten it. Like, we try to do the easiest, safest stuff as much as we can. So just, yeah, but you know, continue to help inspire us, and eventually you'll get it.
Thank you. Okay, so I found out that you automatically can't build if you're blocking the receptacle. That's something I learned. I need a minute. And yet you're still not. Okay. The other question is, how has the aforementioned questions all impacted your individual skills and team composition worked on the game? Personal stories are appreciated.
Okay, let me think about that one. Also, I need a backseat you real quick.
Please
Your
do.
waist
Yeah, my waist is out of
Your waist is
control
small.
as
It
per
bothers me.
usual.
if as a player disorder bothers you, then this game is going to constantly bother you, because the waste aspect of it is always out of control.
It's always out of control.
Yeah, I think like I remember right when we introduced waste as a concept, and this was like a year and a half ago, like during the alpha stage before we even launched on Epic. We like added waste internally, and the first thing that was brought up in the design, the team meeting, was like, I need a job, or I need a way to make it so cleaning waste is the first thing at the top of the first thing that people do. And that's how the whole conversation of the job management system started. Like that that tree where you can like sort who does what, like that is because we added waste and people on our team were like, I need to get rid of waste first. Prior to that, it was actually just like a static tree that like was the default, and that's what everybody had to deal with. So I know this isn't related to the question, but this might be interesting because a lot of these questions are dev focused. Is that's kind of like how Titan eventually started to design itself. Is like every feature creates a new need, which is effectively a new feature, and that continues to grow. So the air purifier building and the fan building, that was designed as a solution, a player choice to a solution to the pollution system that we created. And we wanted to create a pollution system because we want there to be consequences to waste, and also it's thematic to sort of the imagery of cyberpunk. If you look at Blade Runner, the skies, all that stuff. So then it's like we create the job system, and then the next thing from the job system needs to be created, which is like adding a dedicated worker, because people are then like, oh, I wanted to drag waste to the top, but now all my people are doing is doing waste, and I only wanted some of them to do waste. So then that was the next thing we had to add, dedicate that, and so forth and so forth.
Isotope. If you ever implement the advisors getting annoyed at being skipped, Vern has to leave little garbage bundles in protest. Lucky Leak says, we were all drowning in waste at the start. I bought the game the day it came out on Epic, and boy, it was frustrating. Waste, yeah. There were no trucks, and all of it had to be moved manually. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I think in the last year, the game has come incredibly long ways. So it's super exciting to think about all the stuff that we had, and yet there's still so much ahead of us as well to look forward to. Okay, so I think the question was it number 4?
I think it was number 4. Yeah.
How has the aforementioned all impacted individual skills? Okay, so a lot of people are noticing that they have like unique knowledge in certain areas and are sharing that knowledge across the team. So everyone is kind of growing in a different way, which is super fun for everyone to get to kind of learn new skills and whatnot. And one of the things that we've been doing in the last couple months or several months, just a few months now, is we take our Fridays to kind of like work on side projects and prototype new things and learn new skills. And the benefit of sort of that mentality is if somebody is going to work on something that motivates them, it typically plays to their strengths or their interests, and oftentimes interests are their strengths because that's how they ended up getting better at the thing anyways. They were really fascinated. Hello. Okay.
Whoa. Oh.
So yeah, I guess I was getting quieter. So with our Fridays that we take to kind of experiment on new skills, one of the things that, and this is actually something that directly impacted Titan, so I think this might be interesting to the person who asked the question, was our VFX artist Aaron. He made a prototype that was for something that when I looked at screenshots of the prototype, I noticed that the lighting in particular was very atmospheric. And in particular, it had like God rays with like beams of light going through like clouds and stuff like that, and lighting up like the I think it's like volumetric lighting and stuff. And that wasn't even the point of his side project.
it was just something that like he added to it because it made it look really awesome. And I asked him like after I saw that, I'm like, hey, can you just do this to Titan? Because we don't have this. And I didn't realize that that was even an option. Because when we first hired Aaron, the things that we were originally having him work on were VFX relating to combat. And so instead, because of the system, we changed what his priorities were, and then he started working on lighting for Titan, and that's how we got the that lighting update last month, where the day-night cycle has more dynamic lighting. The nighttime is like, all the buildings are more radiant, and then during the daytime you have like god rays and whatnot. So that's like an example of like the game getting better as a result of like identifying skills better, but also having that extra time to level up those skills also means that if there's like a new thing that they want to experiment with, that can also go into the game. So it might be another example might be like there's this new Unreal tech out where like smoke can be liquid simulated, but it costs like nothing. And for whatever voodoo that Unreal Engine does, and like that's currently not spec'd to be in part of the game at all, right? Because we already have a smoke system that's kind of like cloudy. But if we take time to kind of learn that system and figure out if it's good for Titan or not, that could factor into our decision making, and then in terms of like project management, and that might end those kind of things might end up in the game. Hey Necron 2001, you seem like a new name here.
Hello, welcome.
System Shock says that the lighting inspires him to add more particulate matter into the atmosphere to show off its beauty. So we're like rewarding players for sort of polluting the environment.
Absolutely.
That works. Can I see your resource spreadsheet? I just want to see how much of each. You have a. Oh, okay. Wow, so it looks like you have a lot because this is like 300 and something, but
Yeah,
it's actually
but I don't.
15.
Let me. But you can build it. We'll figure that out eventually. I keep forgetting that I'm converting my citizens and then not replacing them, so I'm losing money right now. Not enough space.
Oh yeah, we added 4 or 5 more upgrades to the spaceport storage as well. So you can get it up to 200 instead of 100, and that's because some ships would land with like 100 waste, and you would just never be able to acquire them.
Okay, we're just gonna do quick scouting, I think, because I prefer just defending with grids. So, which model should I use, you guys? I'm just gonna do level 1. I just wanted to protest guards to guards and piling there. This. All right, just for you, Kylie.
Are you positive on your credit income for the cycle?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, after I got those, it is. I think that was those were the Titan A. Yep.
Oh, actually, if System Chalk is still here, I don't know if he saw yet, but if you did you change your job settings?
Oh, yeah, I looked a little bit. There's actually.
Yeah. So I was watching his stream, and his default job order made a lot more sense. So we just made that the default job order in the game.
Okay, let's see. We're gonna need. Tab. Oh, why is it off center? Go. Claria says, as far as ships go, I've learned to just build them how they can be, not go for I try to go for the symmetry still. I know it doesn't work, but I need to try. The gun has 3 access points, but must they all be accessible? Nope, only one needs to be a... Yeah. I said that already. What am I missing? Insufficient life support.
So as a sneak peek for the next Titan Tuesday, for this one we've added the new tutorial so that for the last few months the tutorial was maybe like 13 steps. It's been expanded to 38 steps that kind of go through power, fuel, and the new processing system and whatnot. The goal is to find that balance where if it's too short, players are left confused as to what to do, and if it's too long, the original tutorial prior to this was 57 or 58 steps. If it's too long, then it's like a 3+ hour tutorial, and players will get kind of fatigued before they can enjoy the game. And so we have this kind of middle-ish ground one. It's 38 steps, and it covers all the basics. And that point it kind of ends, but there's so much that needs to be discussed when talking about all the moving parts of the game. And so one of the things that we're working on for next Titan Tuesday is improving the advisor system. Right now, I would say the advisor system currently has 30 to 40%, probably a lot less than that actually, maybe like 20 to 30% of
all the tutorial tips that we have written, and what so we've written like 4 or 5 times more tutorial for the advisors, and now then the next step is to have them hooked up correctly, so when players do call them, they accurately say what to do. They're kind of inaccurate and not they're not very reliable right now. They might tell you some of the wrong things, and this just has to do with like fine-tuning the logic and whatnot. So the hope is that by the next Titan Tuesday, it'll be much more. They'll have much more detail and they'll have much more accuracy with what they tell you. But in particular, in the shipyard, they'll be able to distinguish the view that you're in. And so, if you're in this particular view, the shipyard view, Alexa will give you advice specifically to building your ship. And if you're outside of the shipyard view, the Alexa will give you advice based off of how you should defend your city and whatnot. And so the hope is that because this aspect of the game is so complex, that players will be able to get through it by simply calling Alexa and asking for advice on how to construct the ship.
I think that should give me enough power. Yeah, Alexa's so helpful. Sir, give me my minerals. Okay, what should my next thing by going? I need to do smokes.
You're really low on minerals.
I know. Guess I'll do the fine. Andy, you've always been like I guess like the commentator on these streams. What, you haven't really played on the stream yet, have you?
No, and that is because I don't think I can talk while playing.
Yeah, it's really difficult. I would definitely like to see what your strategy is, though.
Yeah, I would need someone else to talk while I play. Cause this game, like I think a lot about the variables that are moving as I play. It's not like something that I can kind of passively, like, I don't know what a chiller game is. Like I think like if I were playing there's like a lot of games that have like downtime in them, like in like battle royale games. After the initial skirmish, you kind of like loot for a while and then like run until you find the next encounter. So I think that would be it's like a little easier to talk during that time. But for this one, I'm just thinking like, oh, what's the next thing I need to build? Yeah, I mean, so Mel, one of the reasons why we have pause as well as 1x and is because we want to allow people to play at their own pace. Oh, cool. Wait, is there something wrong with that one? Oh. How many employees did you have?
Do I just not have enough employees on it?
Yeah, you have 4 crew pods and 6 things that need.
Okay,
well, luckily you can land your ship.
Yeah, we're going back in. Find it again. Oh, there we go.
One of the feedback we get sometimes from a lot of our hardcore users is like 1x is too slow and like 1x should be 3x, and I totally get that feeling. I totally understand why players who like always play at 3x wish that was the case, because then they would get like 10x or whatever at the fastest speed. But it's really important to consider that like there are some players that do want to play at slower speeds, especially if you're newer, and the game has a lot thrown at you in the beginning. And if you're a streamer, it's like System Shock plays at 1x a lot, and I enjoy watching it. I enjoy watching his streams a lot. So I don't know if that's just a style or if it's because it's better for streaming or whatever, but I do like it.
One of the mods, go ahead and link System Shock stream real quick. Give him that good shout out.
Yeah, I make an effort to watch his update stream every time, because I learn a lot about like how effective was our update in like delivering this new content, like if it's roadblocking him in any way, or especially because he plays every update. If there's something that's like not communicated. Well, first like we basically fix a ton of bugs. Like any bug he counters on the stream, I clip it and then we try to fix it. And then like if there's usability problems, it inspires us to create like new UI updates and polish and stuff like that. Yeah. There's for the developers, we have access to cheats, so we could put the game at like 100x if you wanted to. And it makes the game like super slow. Well, like not slow, but like it makes the frame rate really low, but it makes it like go really fast. And that's actually one of the we get asked a lot, like there's people who probably have so many hours in the game that they want to run the game at like 100x or 10x or whatever in order to get to the next thing, and we can't. It's not a good idea for us to think along those lines, because if we're already trying to do our best to optimize for our current speeds, and if we add 10x, then the performance of the game is going to be really, really, really bad. And the reason why we need to focus on performance is because the game isn't just about speed simulation, but it's about like size simulation. So you may run at 3x at 60 frames now, but if you had 200 workers and a building in every single tile, then we're taxing the game at a completely different level. And so even at that point, 3x might run at like 15 frames a second, and we need to optimize for that. So then giving you the option for 10x at that point would just explode the game. So unfortunately, it's not as simple, even though I totally get that people want that.
Yeah.
So one of the way we have to actually solve it is think about what are the desires for why they want 10x, and solve the problem in a design way. So roads, allowing trucks to carry more than a worker solves that problem, because instead of having 10 workers pathfind, you have one truck pathfind. And then also the new resource system is an attempt to solve that problem too, because building the original defense turret was 64 worker jobs pathfinding, but if you have tier 3 resources on the new system, it's only 16 workers pathfinding, and if you use trucks with tier 3 resources, it's 2 truck trips pathfinding. So it's much more scalable and optimized.
Already coming? I missed it. Oh. Okay. Right now, I'm struggling to get... I can get more minerals.
Mine?
Yep, I'm trying to get the mine. Need all of them. All these... Probably build out here. But that's gonna cost me later. Mel says I'd be wasting so many Titan hours at 10x. Same. Me too. I already waste so much time, but I just play on 3 regardless. Because, again, brain power. They sort of moved some stuff. Okay, I'm still making some money. I would like to see a fast progression lapse. We actually, our video producer Marlon made one. He should probably share the video. We made it into like a GIF and have it on our Steam page now. But yeah, it looks really, really cool actually. Especially with the day and night cycle now, you get the sunset and the sunrise and all the colors. I have never ever needed to buy more than like 10 employees at once. There's 44 available right now. Or not employees, citizens.
So what some people have discovered is that as your worker count grows, the amount of salary that they demand increases as well per person. So I think you will at some point you're gonna start needing to acquire such a large monetization force in order to sustain your workers.
Yeah.
Below 25, it's like pretty sustainable with low population counts, but then at some point the game will shift. Whoa, it's a lot of powered down things.
Oh, because I just don't have any. I put them all away so start doing stuff, but now I'm gonna launch my ship. Here we go.
What does the star mean next to the peeps you get at the airport? It's a crit? Like, it's essentially it's equivalent
Get a
to a
good
crit.
deal.
Yeah, it's a... But I forgot how Bahar put it. It was like a screaming good deal or something like that.
A screaming.
Oh, here you go. Awesome. And this is a game changer, by the way, being able to explore.
I found the rub. Oh, nope.
Whoa,
I'm
whoa.
just scouting. Just kidding. Alright, so there's one rebel base.
In a future update, in the next Titan Tuesday, the number of engines you have on your ship will increase your ship's max speed. So if you and you technically don't need anything on a ship other than engines to have it move. Engines don't require fuel or power. I can get into the design reasons for this in the future because it's kind of long. But that does mean is that you could create a ship where every single tile is just an engine, and then you can fly around quickly to scout stuff. It's not going to be able to defend itself or anything, but
just fill it up with engines. It's gonna go zoom in.
Yeah.
Gotta name it Mazda. Oh no no no! Oh no.
You didn't take that much damage from that.
Yeah, for some reason I attacked the other ship first, so I won that exchange. This is really cool. I haven't been able to do this yet. My first time exploring the Fog of War, and this is really all this.
So the reason why engines used to require fuel, and I felt like it was better to remove that requirement. And the reason for this is because of the way Zethane works. I wanted to avoid a situation where you're exploring the map like this, and you fly into a dead zone of Zethane, and your ship becomes stuck, because there's no way to actually get out of that situation. If that's the case, you're just like floating there without fuel. So I was worried more about like the potential frustration of that interaction. So we removed the fuel requirement. There were potential implications of what you could do is like you could have surrounded your entire city with all air purifiers, and so you had like a moat of no Zethane around your city, and so no rebel ships could fly in and attack you. There's like stuff like that you could have done. But I was just worried that I felt like the restrictions were too encumbering.
Jared's asking, can you go to the ends of Titan with your ship?
You go to the end of the map, and our map is 64 by 64, which when we first established that, so that's 4,096 tiles. Even though it's 64 by 64 doesn't sound like a lot. When we first defined that, that was like our conservative goal for map size, and I believe that for me personally, I would prefer if the map size were larger. I think it's better for the sort of like the vision of what Titan's supposed to be. However, given the scale and complexity of the game, and given that every tile is potentially a factory, which is like 13 by 13, and there's ships in the air which have even more tiles, you're talking about like keeping track of a lot of pathfinding. So it's probably unlikely that anytime soon we'll have a larger map size. Although that's one of the reasons why we continue to optimize the game for more and more, is to try to get to the point where we can do that.
So disappointing when everyone is just waste. Literally a waste of space.
You haven't started burning anything, right?
No, I hate building smokestacks. It stresses me out watching the red just like creep everywhere, and I'm like, I already don't pay enough attention to my citizens. They just die. So I'll do it eventually, but right now all I'm gonna do is build more space for it to build up.
So I think one of the updates that I want to do eventually is we've talked about this in the past, is like giving you options for how to get rid of your waste.
Mm-hmm.
So we have like a building that you can build this building. It's like a dump site, and it attaches it to any shore tile on the lake, and it'll allow you to dump waste into the lake. But there's going to be consequences to that. Like you'll see the waste floating at the surface of the lake. In the future, you won't be able to extract water from it. So or not water. People on Titan don't drink water. So the lake, you can extract the liquid that's in it to feed to your citizens, and it becomes a beverage that makes them happy. And so if you do that with contaminated liquid, those citizens will start losing health, which will then require you to maintain that there's hospitals and whatnot, so that they can recover their health. So you could probably pollute it just a little bit, because that's what happens in the real world. Is like our water's like slightly polluted, because it makes it just mostly drinkable, and that would be fine. But if you ever went over that pollution amount, then you would actually start killing your citizens. Oh, or you could just like not feed them that liquid, and then like you say, this lake is a dump site, and this lake is where I'm extracting my liquid from.
The ingredients label is like only 2% waste.
Yeah.
I once again just don't have any level 1 isotope. This isn't.
Do you need level 1?
Yeah, it says it's building it with level 1 isotopes, but I got 1.
Why did it choose that? I wonder if you can like cancel it and then. It must have issued it when you had level 1 isotopes, because it reserves those isotopes for construction.
Yeah, I'm just. Oh, because I decided to upgrade this.
Oh, your fuel is sad.
I know, I tried to upgrade this too. I'm just gonna. Oh no, what is happening? Everything is ruined. Oh, it's because this once again. If I prioritize.
That's a good question. I mean, I guess you
Oh
could
no,
put
why
like
are you
a
building with so many mineral ones? Don't do this.
Cancel it.
Cancel.
You might want to consider manually.
my god. Yeah, okay.
So the autocurrency system, the autocurrency system is incredibly challenging to design because there are 3 different optimal lenses or like perspectives on autocurrency. The one we ended up choosing was least realized waste. Or when I say waste, I don't mean the resource. I mean like least loss that's been realized. So if you need like 13 resources, and there's nothing that has that cost in the game, but like just hypothetically, if you need 13 resources, the game will choose the configuration of resources that equals 13 the most in realized terms. However, if that means 13 tier 1s, then the unrealized gain is actually 25 times 13. So that means, you know, a huge potential loss or a loss of something that you could have realized if you had spent the time converting it. And so if you had that lens, then it would use a different valuation system. And then the other lens that the autocurrency system could have used is a transportation lens. So 13 trips, while not losing any realized gains, has the most trips versus one tier 3 resource. Because like one tier 3 resource is 1 trip, even though you lose 12 minerals. But 13 resources loses 0 realized minerals, but is 13 trips. And so manual is really the way you're gonna go. You're like the pro players, or I'm not saying you're not a pro, but like the really particular.
It's okay. I'm not gonna be offended.
For people who like super care about a situational decision making on a case by case basis, like you kind of have to do manual because the resource system is way deeper than at first glance. And I made like charts to like highlight this out. Like if I was like, okay, if we use the because like when we were designing the autocurrency system, we just had to make a choice about how when it makes what decisions. And I'm like, you know, from here to here it has to use this kind of logic, and from here to here uses this. And that's going to be different. It's not going to be the perfect one for everything. For me, like as a player, I enjoy thinking about optimization in that way. So I actually like the system, even though it's probably biased because you know, it was something that we had designed. But I'm hoping that other people can kind of see how it creates interesting decisions, the manual system, and then hopefully for those who don't care about that decision making, the compromise of autocurrency that we came up with is like not is simple enough and not confusing enough to allow them to kind of play you know, how they want to. But I'm worried about the thing that kind of worries me is like if they're all converted up to tier 3 and they start noticing that like things that normally cost 2 are now costing 25, that might add some confusion there. And that's just like the trade-off that we were willing to accept, is that some confusion in order for it to add this like increased depth of decision making.
Yeah. Yeah, Lucky Luke says he always builds everything manually, collecting. I should. That's just another attention.
Yeah, for the resource tier system, we implemented the manual way first, and then a month later we added the auto system. Whereas in the past, I think we've actually implemented an automatic system first, and then players demanded a manual system. So the worker job manual sorting tree or whatever is like that was added after we just kind of made an automatic system. So I kind of wonder how it would have played out if like people became acclimated to auto first, and then we're given manual.
waste carpet. What was I even building? I don't even remember it. Oh, the mine. Mine. Brain strikes again. Oh no, please. Oh no, Bahar, not right now. Fine. Yeah, I'm in.
I'm not gonna spoil it. I just want to say so, but for the next Titan Tuesday, I'm really excited for. It's a change that's very minor in terms of like it's very minor in terms of like the how the robustness of the feature. But I do believe that what the change that we're going to do is going to change how players who play standard strategize the game over the course of their play session. I think it's going to change the feeling of how you play and your your short-term and long-term decision making. So yeah, let's looking forward to that one.
Welcome,
And once
Bistro.
again, it's not a huge feature at all. It's just like a change in UI, but I think it'll make a big difference.
I'm just. Oh, but if I build this turret, then I'm farther away from getting the mine again. Do you think I can survive with just this tiny ship? Probably. It's the first one. Then we're just ruined.
Yeah, make sure your shots matter. Oh, I guess there's another change we're gonna do for the next update that I want to kind of preface people with so that they don't get blindsided. Is that one of the changes that we're gonna do? Is that if you notice, the generators in factories don't require an operator, but the generators in your ships do. So the original vision was to have it so all generators required people, but I think but in practice, what I found was that because there are operators required for power, and power enables everything almost in combat, that it came down to a single tile having a lot of bearing a lot of responsibility. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it so that the factories generators that don't require citizens are now the generators that are in ships. So if your strategy was to always shoot the power generator operator, that won't work anymore. And what this does is it increases the difference between small, medium, and large generators in combat, because they have different. If your goal is to deactivate them, they have different hitboxes, and so the larger ones will take much larger to take down, whereas currently they all have the same kind of vulnerability point. Now you also have the option of severing the power connection to disable things too, but that won't take a ship down wholesale. And every rebel ship is designed with redundancies. So if you disable, like, every device is backed up by like two or three pylons, so you have to kind of like draw the connections in your mind if you're gonna disable something via its power in that way.
Why are you not converted? I was wondering why I had so few minerals still. They're all ones.
You could dedicate too.
Yeah, I should. There's gotta be a rebel that's as inefficient at building ships as... Same. Someone please tell me that they struggle as much as I do when I play this.
The game is designed to constantly be throwing failure points at you.
Yep.
So it'll always feel like you're just shy of doing something right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. I think it's cool because I feel like if you want to be super pro at this game, you need to think 10 steps ahead and just go galaxy brain. But like, I'm just one step at a time kind of person. I'm like, okay, I want to do this. Oh, but I don't have enough of this, which means I need to do this. But that means I need to do this. And so it just ends up being this silly chain, and then I forget what I originally wanted to do anyways. Dedicated. Okay, there we go. They're getting it. Slowly. Got 30 minutes until the enemy attack. To be fair, my dispute with the rebels is not so much ideological as it's jealousy of their prettier Yep. Distro says I spent over an hour on my first ship, then realized I didn't have enough employees. I know! Oh my gosh, that happens to me all the time. I'm like, oh wait, I have to source from my current workforce? That's not gonna work.
Yeah, I've had games where like I would rush the ship and then not realize that I put all my workers, say for like 3 or 2, on my ship, and then suddenly all my production is halted.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a big dense or dark spot in the middle of your gas, the center of your city.
Oh yeah, because that's where all my factories they each have like a small fuel fabricator. Which I usually, I just put one small fuel fab in each of my factory places and headquarters, and then one of the first things I do is just try to source a sinkhole crevice because it just doesn't last ever. Almost there, just need one more thing. Although I should probably wait until I have 400 in. That. Got time. I can't believe our next update is gonna be update 12. It'll be a full year of monthly updates.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Do you have a favorite?
I think this one. I always feel bad building a turret right next to my residential buildings. Or at least the factory that's gonna... Wait, what's bananas? I missed it. Then I'm gonna move side. This is good. Now that they're factoring, I can now find. Yeah, I like this song a lot. Watch. They're just all so good. It's hard to pick a favorite. And that'll help me with my mineral problem. And then there was another isotope patch. Oh, this one right here. Can I get there? Okay. I should build a resident. Given the difficulty in picking a favorite track, where's the option to play every track simultaneously? I don't know, man. We'll ask Danny if for or Power Up Audio. This is like one of the first times that I'm not completely like trying to defend my city at the last minute.
Oh yeah, I just realized that. Isn't that normally how our streams play out?
Yeah, so many times I'm just like, oh god, there's 30 seconds left. This turret hasn't been built yet.
I think sometime in the last few months, I had really toned down how aggressive the rebels were, and the reason they were set to that in the first place was because they were one of the only opposing forces in the game. And now you have to maintain kind of like your resource output and your citizen salaries, as well as the old systems like pollution and waste and whatnot. That I balanced the rebels to be kind of like less integral to that particular experience.
Prioritized. Okay, next step is gonna be building up my resident things. So for mindless stones. Then we'll see. That might be the end of the stream because it'll take me a long time to get there.
What's your simulation hours right now?
We are at simulation time is 5 hours and 30 minutes. Titan time. What? Displaying simulation. Is that right? Titan time. Yeah, that says 5. That can't be right.
If you're at 3x, then that would have been like
Wait, so
2 hours.
what's the Titan time versus the simulation? And then I thought simulation time was real time.
Yeah, simulation time is real time. I think Titan time is like a day is in 24 hours, whereas simulation time is a day is in 60 hours. Or it's like 60. It's in hours, minutes, seconds. And then Titan time is days.
Days, hours.
Yeah, days, hours, minutes. Right. So the key difference there is there's 24 hours in a day.
Oh, you guys keep
versus a simulation time at 60.
Right.
Yeah, so it's 14 days have passed in Titan time.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm confused with the simulation time. Shouldn't that just like?
It's real. You've been. You've been at 3x.
Okay.
Yeah. So at 3x, that's about 2ish hours, and then 14 days have passed on Titan.
Okay.
Actually, I noticed that there is a bug there where it says displaying Titan time. It's not showing you the breakdown, and it should have been saying like it's days, hours, minutes.
Good. Now I can see that. Oh wow, okay.
Thanks, Lucky Luke, for joining the stream.
Yeah, thank you. I kind of want to build them farther away. And near the shipyard, but... Oh, here they come. Oh no. No, not my command center, stop it! This poor little guy. There's only 2 of them on this ship.
He shot one of them too. That guy's gonna die. Oh, if you re-aim it, you could kill him. Oh, he's
Okay,
healing though.
No
You're
healing.
gonna kill him.
Uh,
Oh, he healed. Healed. I don't do combat at 3x. It's too wild. Yeah, your ship is totally equipped for this. So, for those of you who do whoa, that
they
guy
died.
over your fuel tanks too.
Yeah. Could have been dangerous.
If it was a level 3 ship, the collateral damage might have been enough to blow up the fuel tank.
Really? Oh my goodness.
So the collateral damage is a fraction of the hull's HP, because the hull's HP is tied to its mass. So a level 3 ship has like 5 times as much health as a level 2. For the rebels, and it would have blown up. And one thing that we haven't hooked up yet, which I do want to do, is that the collateral damage is tied to how much fuel is on board, because the fuel is volatile. So in theory, what you could do is you could create a ship that just has a bunch of fuel tanks, and then fly that over a rebel base and then self-destruct it.
After seeing the speed of naval prowess 3 times, I feel like the future stream needs to be me doing no pause FTL. I don't know, man. It sounds really stressful. Wow, I finally have this mine up and running that I feel so satisfied right now. Okay. Residences are coming together. Office while we're at it. Also,
All right,
doing
it's
surprisingly
2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah, you said you were gonna stop.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We can stop it this
I'm just
time.
saying. I'm just saying because I wasn't sure if you were gonna keep playing.
I mean,
you
I
keep
could
going if you want.
I could keep going, but also, I think we've showed off pretty much everything that there is to show off for this update.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just there's like smaller improvements and stuff. Not that you'll discover. And yeah, the fog of war and the combat, and unfortunately we couldn't show off the timed achievements. Oh, if you could actually find a way to game over your screen, you could show the new game over screen. I wish there was a. Okay, so
a
can you?
self-destruct button for the HQ.
Yeah. if you'll fire your ship over your HQ and then self-destruct it,
Oh.
or it might be easier if you so you could either build a bunch of ships and do it until eventually it blows up, or build a bunch of fuel tanks around your HQ and then blow up your ship to blow up the fuel tanks, which
Okay.
could kill it.
Okay. I can't dismantle any of them, so we're just gonna build a bunch of ships.
Wait,
Oh, I can do the dismantle all.
Yeah, that's the new feature. That's the new feature too. Dismantle all in dismantle mode.
Okay. Yay, there's dismantle mode. Actually, have not used it. So there's
yeah.
everything. Or dismantle. Oh.
So much waste.
So much waste. It's not quite full, but it's almost there.
I don't know. Do you have the storage for all of this stuff that you're? Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have a storage facility. I just upgrade it every time that I need more space to store garbage.
So right now the collateral damage is just based on the hull, so you just need to put an engine on it.
Okay.
And then the more HP that has, the more it'll self-destruct for.
I do not have credits. Oh no. We're just gonna build a lot of these. We'll self-destruct this. Firm. Didn't do anything.
Wow.
I don't know if this is gonna happen, Andy.
Okay.
The one time we didn't want to win against the rebels, we went.
Oh wait, no, I have a faster idea. You
Oh.
put all your workers on a ship and then self-destruct it. You will game over if you have no workers.
Oh.
Yeah, you'll. There you go. You just gotta think creatively.
Okay. I didn't know you would game over. Oh, can I? It's 7.
I think the max crew size is 12, so you'll need to build 2.
Okay. Isn't the self-destruct button emailing in our peer a copy of the Communist Manifesto? That would do it! Prioritize.
Destroy all your storage. Can you do that? How do you can't dismantle your last storage, but you could. I don't know if you could destroy it.
Hello, Dragon Sage. Yeah, we're trying to show the game over stream or page. Yeah. Oh my god, it just suddenly everything. So we're gonna explode a bunch of ships over our HQ.
Yeah, 12 crew pods and an engine, launch it and then blow it up.
Okay. I might do 5 first, so it'll be faster to build the next ship. Yeah.
You can't launch your ship if you have no power. I thought you only need an engine to launch your ship. The crew pods don't require power either, I think. Oh, you need life support? No, wait, won't they just suffocate? Can't you launch and they suffocate?
Oh yeah, I need life support. No! You're making this too complicated. All I want to do is die.
I swear you could launch without life support.
No, I don't think so.
It was one of the reasons why we wanted to add landing back in. I'm hearing survey complete. Is your survey jobs higher than your construction jobs?
More of that. Construction all the way to the top.
Yeah.
Stop it. No more salvaging. We're not here to make a profit anymore. We're here to die. I can't believe we only did that much. Okay, well, we'll find out if we can launch with just
That's a lot of engines.
Uh,
Are those engines?
Yep, those are engines.
You need 12. Oh yeah, so you're doing 5 now, so you can do the.
Yeah, is this enough? Should I do more engines?
No, it's fine. You just
Okay.
because you just need to launch it and blow it up.
Oh, I thought you said the
engine-
more engines, the more like damage it would do. Okay, never mind. We're gonna launch. You can't launch.
Okay.
Employee's not aboard yet. Who arriving? These poor employees have no idea what they're signing up for.
I've never actually done this before. Like try to kill all my workers. I'm really curious if this will work.
If not, it'll
Insufficient-
be a good experiment. Insufficient.
Is it really not?
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do like 1 fuel fab. Um, 1 generator. It is. No, it's not. Oh, because I dismantled everything in that one. Here, I've been out of the info since some long updates. I know that ships are important, but the make and sell stuff part of the industry thing, or is just
Oh, we were planning on having a Oh, you need 2 life supports for that many people, by the way.
yeah.
So that should be enough, and you pile on it. Fine. Okay. So we are planning eventually to allow you to manufacture consumer goods. So that's another purpose of the factories. We don't have a timeline on that yet. I think that's much further down the line, because before consumer products are there for you to do trade and get credits and stuff. Before that's a thing, we want to do citizen happiness, which requires clubs, and then citizen health, which requires the hospital. So it'll be quite far away. Boom. Sweet. One more.
It's
Five
so
five
bad.
employees died.
Oh my god, I don't have enough.
Oh really? Crap.
Hold on. They're getting there. They're doing their thing. I dismantled a bunch of theme bobs. So oh, I don't have enough. Don't work it out, y'all go. No, you really don't want to. Oh wait. Okay. You know what? This
That
is
might
fine.
be. Yeah.
Is it too small?
No, it's fine. You just
Okay.
need 1 engine, 12 crew pods, 4 life support, which will require 2 small generators. So it's a little tricky. It might be tight.
Is there a way to see a list of your employees' names?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I definitely named one of my employees Mel. So all I'm saying is, you know, you can't write a Glassdoor review if you're on a ship that has an accident.
That's true.
I also named one of my employees Andy. Sorry.
It's okay.
Andy says
I
it's
appro-
okay.
I approve this message. All right, this will be the smallest.
Oh right. Okay.
1 engine,
One
and then
engine.
4 life support, and 12 crew pods.
Oh no, I don't have enough. What? I do.
Wait, is it 6? Is it based on the size of the ship? Oh crap. Okay, it's based on the size of the ship. Okay, so if you look at the left where the worker count is,
Wait,
it says
my screen is
only
broken. I can't side scroll anymore. There we go. There we
it
go.
says
Okay.
only for level 2 ships, and then 12 is only for level 3 ships.
No. Well, so we
bad.
could just build 1 more ship and try it if we want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really want to see. This is like
This is an
my
experiment.
my curiosity is like way peaked at this point. I really need to know what happens if you explode all your workers.
I wonder if it'll let
We're
you.
due. This has to be informative for Alexa and Bahar as well. Oh, okay. So, will there be ways to research things for an edge against other corps and what have you? So that is very similar to like passive traits and like tech trees that other games have. So we do have a design for how we want to implement that in our game. It's a take that I think will make the game more replayable and different from other traditional tech trees, and it's tied to the artifact system that we have. So people who have been keen about the UI have noticed that there's red, yellow, and blue artifacts, but we haven't unlocked them all. So once all three artifacts are in the game, the goal is to allow you to use that at a new building that we haven't unlocked yet, that will process those artifacts for the ability to get passive traits. So they can range from things like your weapons charge faster, or your smokestacks generate less pollution. Your citizen housing has more pollution resilience. Your trucks might move faster. They might generate less pollution. They might require less fuel. There's a whole range of benefits that can be generated from that system. That one is something that. Whoa, is this the 6 to?
Whoa. I think that
It was lightning.
Lightning struck and it frazzled our.
I think it's lightning. Anyway, yeah. So the idea is you can have those passive. Yeah, there will be a way to get kind of passive talents and stuff like that in the future, and that one is coming a lot sooner than other features. But it won't be for a few more months still.
Alright, you guys can do it. Come on, just the last thing. Alright.
Two more,
Get
come
in your
on.
little pods.
Yeah, let's go.
Alright, launch.
And just for good measure, over the HQ.
Yeah, just for good measure. I feel like such an awful person.
Well,
You
I think
can
it
see all
only
the death pops up on the right hand side. An employee has died. Oh man.
You're doing it at 3x2, so they die like 3 times faster.
It's okay. Their death is quicker, more swift.
All right, here's the last one.
Now we have less employees to handle it, and 2 of them are in these power stations. Do I need
Oh,
power
you'll
for
have-
this?
Oh crap!
Well, I think like I
Yep.
can, if I do it really quickly at the end, then they can like, I'll still be on battery power. So the problem is like, if I take one off, I'm already at minus batteries. So I have to keep both of them in for now.
But you could disable anything else that takes power to drain
You're right.
that you don't need.
Okay, now I have, okay. There we go. You.
Whoa.
Okay,
But
we'll
your fuel?
do the last one. The fuel doesn't. But these are
Fuel's
all.
draining.
Oh no, that's right.
Why is it fuel
okay,
draining?
because I turned off my command.
Oh, tricky. Wait, what? Oh crap! That command center takes a ton of power. Okay, there you go. We're back in business. All right, let's build the ship. Let's build the ship.
Building the ship.
We're so close.
Okay. Prioritize.
This
Let's
is
go.
why. This is why corporations on Titan shouldn't unionize, because the founder can kill everybody if they want to.
I have 1 idle. This should aggro the rebels. Honestly, yeah, if your employees die, then it should definitely aggro the rebels. But
I like
that
how
wouldn't
it's
be good for us.
Bahar. It's Bahar who suggested that too.
Yeah.
Bahar's like, I would definitely attack you right now. Okay, I'm gonna make a note of that. That's a good point. Because we have the rebels evaluate your worker count, but they don't they don't evaluate your worker death count, which should have a greater impact.
I hope I have enough minerals for all of things.
There you go. Noted.
It's gonna be really sad if we don't have enough minerals.
Oh crap.
Oh
That
wait,
doesn't
I
look
have
like all-
influence.
Nice. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, so Gearho says that they're looking to see if there's ways to go down ruins for logs and stuff. Lore is really important to Titan too, and you can get lore in sort of like the small descriptions as well as the characters that you talk to, and we have much more and the codex as well, which we're continuing to update. We'll have more opportunities to experience the lore in the future. That's for sure.
You don't need money anymore. Uh-oh. I think like what else we can do.
What's the next step? Like, what are we missing?
We just need to get this guy out of here. I think. Yeah, it looks like they're doing it. Slowly coming together.
Oh,
I
they're
just
still
don't-
building it.
Yeah, I don't have any more. So. Is there a way to contract a mercenary? Awesome. Can you hear me? Yes. Oh. Did we just lose sound entirely?
I don't know. I know Andy muted himself,
Oh, okay.
so I don't know what that means.
Oh, it says we're back. Okay, maybe Andy went to go get some water or something in here for a while, and we're still building the ship.
Sorry, I'm back.
Oh, hello.
Is there a way to contract mercenary ships? Yeah, so actually it's something that we've been planning since the beginning, but never got around to, is that one of the things that you can ask the council for in terms of a favor is renting a council mercenary. So it would cost influence, and they would provide you with a ship that they control, so you can't control their ship, and they would kind of like patrol your city and defend you for a period of time or something like that.
That would be great.
Yeah. But whenever we add features like that, I like to think of fun ways to interact with them. So the question would be like, if you had your own ship and you had a council mercenary, like, could you attack the council mercenary and like piss off the council or something? That's all stuff that I think would be fun to think about. Freelancers or only council approved? For now, the council like reinforcements are specifically designed council ships. Well, for the council, and then you could get like a level 1, 2, or 3 one. and that's just to provide more options with combat, because there's like the ship option, and there's the turret option. So this would be like a defender option, like a mercenary option, which is why I think it's important that you don't control it, because if you wanted to be a player who controlled their ship, then you would go down the shipyard route. Ooh, are we doing it?
It's coming together. I'm just need to get out of here. I think I'll just wait until everything's built first. We're almost there. It let me build everything, so there's that. We'll have to see if everyone will get into it, though. So, I guess if you put all of your employees on a ship, you can still land your ship and unload something. Not gonna lock your game.
Yeah, and I think the way you unload an employee is by dismantling the crew pod, or disabling. If you dismantle the crew pod, it disables it first, which will eject the worker and then assign them to dismantle it.
Okay. These poor little guys. There's only like 2 people doing this right now.
Really? Where's the other 4?
I don't know. Oh, this one? Oh, he probably went into a crew pod already. Oh, yep.
Oh,
they
yep,
went
yep.
into the crew pods. All right.
It might be.
I'm out of the crew pods, so they can.
Yeah. So they can help. Oh, there I am. I'm the last one.
You're going down with the ship.
We should have made it an achievement to like name them certain things and then blow them up.
Like what?
I don't know. It's like no way to do it without being offensive, unless it's like us making fun of ourselves.
What? Why did I just get more? Oh no, it's -5. I thought.
Yeah, if you place the builder, it means you have the resources for it. I kind of just wonder where all your other ones are, though.
I
Because you should
know.
have 6.
One of them is still in the things.
Yeah, you might as well just have them all do that. Oh,
Are they? Where else could?
too idle. Oh, are there workers chilling in your processors?
Oh, there might be.
So does that mean that they count? Whoa. What's going on? Did they count towards your worker count? No. Oh, there is. Oh crap! Did that add a worker? No. Did it?
Disable. Okay, that would make sense where they all were then.
There's one right
Okay.
there. Why is that one just standing there though?
2 and Esh. It's okay, we'll summon them shortly.
Yeah, I'm super invested. So that was 4, and we had 2. No, that was I think it was like 3, and we had 2. And we have 1 in the power.
Yeah.
Oh crap!
We're out of power now.
This has to be doable. I believe in us.
Okay, you know what? Not gonna. Do these count as buildings?
No, these are devices. I don't know what buildings are being constructed. Can you cancel like every other job? Well, I don't know if that will help.
There's nothing being constructed, so they might be being counted as.
What? What's in there? What buildings is that?
What are you guys doing? Stop at the ruins. Oh god.
This is a QA, or how QA kind of works. It's like just trying to figure out what's going on.
I have these prioritized too, so I don't know why they're extracting the ruins.
This is the
This is
Titan
not what
QA
I'm
screen.
paying you to do.
Can you click the bug reporter button? I want to see if it's detected a resource difference. No, it hasn't. Okay.
Look at them. They're going here. Okay, where the
They're building the
thing-
road? What road? That road?
cancel.
Cancel.
That was the only one.
Okay.
I see them moving around. Okay, that person just put something in here. Oh, I think I did a repair. Oh. Yeah, there's nothing else
I'm
being
hearing
built.
device complete.
Yeah.
I'm hearing device complete.
Oh, good, good. So it must have been the... Yeah, so they did that finally.
There you go. All right, so that's
Okay, so that's the last 6. And it says it says you only have 4 workers. So
Yeah,
2 are
because-
loaded already.
I just want them... Can I open the list again? This list?
Job list. Whoa! 1 resource? 1 job?
So yeah, it's not counting... Oh, this one just got built automatically and I didn't see a worker put anything down. Oh, I see some movement over here. Oh yeah,
Whoa.
yeah, so they're
Oh, what?
coming over here and it's placing the resources. They're not coming in and building.
Interesting. We're gonna save this video as repro steps for later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, like this dropped a mineral here. There you go. They're doing it.
we're so close though.
It's almost there. We can almost
So
load them all up.
They just drop it at the door, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Need just a tiny bit more. There we go.
Yes. Okay.
Alright, let
Now
me
load 'em up.
take this guy out of here. Oh, quickly while we're on battery power. Go, go, go. Add
Load, load,
employee.
load.
Quickly! Arrive!
And then nothing else in the city is using power.
Oh, I can turn off this now.
Ooh, -1.
Okay, okay,
That's
okay.
that's solid. You
guess
have
we're
you have that's totally enough power.
Who's arriving? They're all arriving.
Alright, this is it. Okay, we should have just made this achievement. Like
Killing all of your employees.
destroy all your
No.
workers.
I'm wondering if
Okay,
maybe...
launch.
Oh, shoot. I'm wondering if maybe we also need to be out of citizen game over. 'Cause technically, I think I can still convert them. We'll see.
Oh, that's a good point.
All for not... Oh no!
Oh,
We did
there you
it! Alright, so... It's our game over. Bahar taking the credit for our death. It's been entertaining, Founder, but the rebellion stops for nothing, not even for this, no matter how much you deserve it. So, here's the results of our Howdy Y'all Co. Game time. Oh, we have button. Dick, look at that. With so much waste.
That's your breakdown.
Oh. This is so cool. Oh, there's more. Oh, we also get Anar telling us that she's disappointed in our failure.
And despite that, your corporation's worth 469 million.
Yeah, because technically, like, everything else was great. Just the only negative is waste in. Wow. Okay. So we actually
Awesome.
did it. I was surprised that that worked. I was like, preparing myself for it to for the game to just keep going, but it ended. So I feel accomplished now.
Awesome. And it tells you no employees left. It says game over, no employees left. So sweet, it works.
Yay!
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this, and everyone for seeing us through this experiment.
Yep. But yeah, that's a really good place to end. just so everyone knows, the Titan Tuesday update is coming out to. God, what happened here?
Whoa, what the?
Just so everyone knows, the Titan Tuesday update is coming out tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Convert that to whatever time you're in because I can't do that. So yeah, we'll have patch notes, and we're really excited for you guys to try out the leaderboards and our new timed contract mode. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon. We're always in our Discord hanging out as well, so if you have any other feedback or anything you want to say, hit us up. Otherwise, happy corp building or whatever it is.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.